one day with me, man. And so I bit the bullet, made it happen, took off, drove 7 hours, got there, went straight to bed, got up, fished all day, and I'm on my way home now. We'll be getting home around midnight. It's been an epic day, man. We went up there. Us Southern boys went up there and kicked some ass today, didn't we, Win?
Yeah, we had a blast.
Kick whose ass? Whose ass?
Kick the Stripers ass.
Say it out loud. Come on, say it out loud. Whose ass?
We kicked the
Kicked
Stripers
some
ass.
Yankees ass
There
today.
you go, some Yankees ass. That's right.
Man, when we got out there, what's up, Benji? Guys, comments are coming up at the bottom.
Yep, I see him too. Hell yeah.
I got up last week, and the first day we went out, let's see what day, last Wednesday, and it was really rough. Chuck Tiedemann got on the boat with us, and we fished hard all day, and we were going to call it at 4 o'clock, and around 3:30ish, somewhere around in there, a rod went off, and Richie got his personal best, was a 44-pound striper, but Richie stayed sick the whole day, but Richie toughed it out. He stayed up in that cabin for like 7-8 hours. It was just, he just got sick. But anyway, he got his personal best. The next day I didn't fish. Then the next day, hell, I've been up here so long I'm forgetting. I'm getting all this confused. I think, let's see. Yeah, I had a guy on the boat with me I met at Walmart. He was a charter captain. And he helped me in Walmart. He helped me do something to my motors about putting some trim oil in one of my on my tilt and trim on my port motor. But anyway, so he wouldn't take no money. So I invited him to come fishing. He came fishing. And he does inshore fishing. I don't think he's been offshore in a while because he got sicker and shit too. I mean, and granted, it's been rough up here. Then I fished half a day the next day. And then today, JR came up last night. Like you said, he did a turn and burn. He came up last night. And this morning we went out. We left out of Cape Charles, and I knew it was going to be a little rough. But judging there again by these quote marine apps, it didn't look bad. I even told JR, I said, going out, I said, don't look like it's that bad out there. Till we went around and made that right turn around the wing wall right there, and it was brutal. We had what looked like to me 3 and 4 footers easy. And then some of the 2 footers, they were like
5 6 footers. 5 6 footers.
And they were 2 or 3 seconds apart. I mean, we were just getting hammered. And at one point, the boat, we went over a wake, a wave, and the boat literally went airborne. The whole boat come out of the air, and we slapped back down.
Yeah,
and the
3-footers don't do that, Win.
And the props caught up with her. So now I'm talking about the average wave height out there was about 3 foot. But we hit one there, and it was just, anyway, that was God saying,
no,
it's time
I disagree. Once we hit over 30, 40 feet of water, the average wave height was not 3 foot. It was much higher than that.
Well, anyway, I didn't have a tape measure, but they were high. So the boat come completely out of the water, motors, everything, the whole boat, and just slammed. I mean, so that was God's way of saying, son, you need to get off this water. So we turned around, went back toward Cape Charles. So we kind of hung out right there at the wing wall. And I told JR, I said, well, if we can just get straight across the channel, we'll go out there. If we can get to the channel, we'll go straight across and just pull the edge of it and pull south, So we tried it again, and it didn't happen. So we put the boat back on the trailer. We went up to Hardy's, got something to eat. And there was 2 guys there that were actually fishing up here. We talked to them and chewed the fat for about, 30, 45 minutes.
Oh, yeah, easy.
And then we went on up to Morley's Wharf and put in, and we just found a spot. We found a lot of bait. There's a lot of bait up there. And, some birds and everything. And I told JR, I said, well, let's put them out right here and start pulling. So we got all our rods out. And the first fish that we had on was the last board I was putting out on the port side. He was about maybe 30, 40 feet from the boat. And all of a sudden, the planer board just going, and then it kind of stopped. Then all of a sudden, it said, and I said, I'm like, damn, that eel's not that strong. That's got to be a fish. So I just pushed the lever drag all the way up. And we're using circle hooks, but I jerked it anyway because he hit it while it was going out. Plus, I'm a jerker anyway. So we stuck that fish, and that was our first one. That was a 46. And from there, it got better and better. We wound up with 5 fish, 8 bites, 5 fish. Just a super epic day on Chrsapeake Bay, and it started out so bad this morning. We just kept. That's what they say. You just keep grinding. So we grinded it out. And we had one of the best because I caught 4 fish up here in one day last year by myself, and this year we caught 5 in one day, and actually a half a day. So it was a great trip.
Yes, it was.
Nice. So you were fishing in bait, is that right?
Dude, there was so much bait up there. It almost covered it. There was 2 pots of bait we went over that almost covered up the whole stream. It was dark yellow. It was just, and the first fish that JR caught had a couple of Manhattan in her. And then that 49 that I caught, the only reason I reeled that fish in because JR was fighting the fish and another rod went off. I was going to let JR catch all of them. But that fish that I got, when we got her to the boat, she had like 5 Manhattan. I counted 5 in her mouth. And you could still see the meat. She hadn't even swallowed it yet. They didn't have no skin, no eyes or nothing, just like a fillet of meat. And then tried to eat an eel on top of that. So those fish are hungry. If you find them now, you're going to catch fish.
Yeah, we were going out through there, and I figured there'd be, at least 30 to 50 foot of water, and Wes went straight to the 50-foot ledge out there. And as soon as we hit like 40 plus feet is really when we started seeing the big pods of bait. We're not really pods, but there would be some pods, but it was scattered bait, but super thick. And we saw some of those big dark-winged gulls out there, and we know those big, giant dark-winged seagulls are the ones feeding on those big menhaden. And sure enough, we put 3 boards out on one side, 2 boards out on the slack side, and then about 5 minutes into that, Wes started to put another board out, and he didn't get the board 15 feet off the side of the boat, and bam, one started running sideways with it. He was like, "Fish at home." Yeah, the water temp was 46 degrees, and I think all that bait's coming out of those rivers, moving south in that bay. And we were even though we went about 15 miles north of Cape Charles, we were still in the southern lower portion of the bay. So that bait is on its way out, to warmer waters in the ocean. Gotcha. And those stripers are just using that. Even though the bay the fish is about like a lake. I mean, the Susquehanna River, that river channel is there. There's a lot of contours there. There's a lot of rivers, a lot of creeks dumping out into there. So there's a lot of points, a lot of stuff like that. It's just a lot deeper than what you're used to on a lake. So I think that by hitting that channel ledge, I think those fish are using that as a highway. Well, the bait are, and then the fish are in there feeding on them.
Gotcha. All that.
But what made me feel good was all of those professionals were up there, all the guides and the charters. Chuck's like the greatest fisherman we know, and he's up there. He's got one fish all day. Me and Wes are hitting him on top of the head, man.
I believe that's called luck. Yeah.
Oh yeah. The old saying though, you'd rather be lucky than good any day, right?
That's a fact when fishing. And like I said, the other day, man, when Chuck was on my boat, we fished all day and caught one fish. We just wasn't right where they were. Me and JR just got lucky. We just got right on top of them and knocked them in the head,
Yeah.
We got lucky last year, too.
Yeah.
Twice.
So.
That bait's going to flush out in the coming days with cold rain and snow coming.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's what's awesome.
I do believe tomorrow with that big front that's coming in, tomorrow might be fire. I mean, what I think about the bay right now, and I'm still learning a lot about this fishery, but if you find fish right now, from what I'm seeing, the way those fish are just gorging on the Manhattan, then you've got another striper that's trying to eat an eel and it's already got its It ain't even tried to digest, and it can't even get. It's still got a mouthful of bait, and it's still trying to eat an eel. These fish are hungry right now, and if you find them, they're gonna bite. You know, it's
they're gorgeous. They're gorgeous. Every fish we caught, every fish we netted and brought over the gunnel was spitting up menhaden.
You know, right now I feel like these fish know something's coming. A big old cold front, cold blast. You know, so they're fattening up right now. Yeah.
Well, not only that, but they're fattening up anyways. But yeah, I think you're right. I think that this prefrontal condition with this cold front coming I think it's probably making them feed even more.
Yeah.
Because I don't think that these striped bass that are these migratory bass that are coming down feeding on all these menhaden, I don't think that they are as are susceptible to barometric pressure and other like cold fronts and other conditions that may shut other fisheries down. I don't think it really affects these as much.
How far up the bay you guys?
Go ahead, Pete. I'm sorry, buddy.
How far up the bay you guys go?
From the bridge, we were probably 30 miles.
Up or towards the ocean?
From the bridge, north of the bridge, of the Chrsapeake Bay bridge. We're probably about
we were in what would still be considered the lower bay.
Gotcha.
JR, and I noted I meant to mention this earlier and the phone rang or something, and I forgot to tell you, but did you notice something about every one of those fish we put on the boat today?
The sea lice?
None of them had sea lice.
Oh, well, there was sea lice on at least one. I actually got it on camera.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I got it on camera. There was sea lice on one of them. And tell us again, Wes, what that means, or what the theory is.
I've heard a bunch of different things about that, but I think sea lice is already, when I first started coming up here, the big thing was the fish that had sea lice on it was the ones that came from the ocean. But I don't believe that. I believe there's sea lice already there. It's already in the bay. Those fish, whether they're coming down from the Potomac or coming from the ocean, wherever they're coming from it to go through the bay, they can get sea lice on them in the bay. I personally think sea lice is already there. And that's just from what I'm hearing. And the people that told me that, I put a lot of stock in what they say. And one of those is Chuck Manny. He says the lice is already there, this big thing. And he said a lot of people has misconstrued that, that if you get a fish and he's got sea lice on him, he come from the sea. And he said that is not true. He said a lot of these fish have sea lice on them, and they're getting it right here in the bay. So Thomas Walker says sea lice is from the fish feeding on the bottom. Yeah, and like I said, Thomas, I'm not really sure. I just listen to a lot of what people tell me up here because I'm still learning this bay. Honestly, today, me and JR, we got real lucky. We had a half a day, and we caught 5 fish, and maybe 4. We didn't really fish. We fished about 3.5 hours. Because we didn't get out there till about lunch, and we pulled them up about 3:30, 3:35.
Yeah, those guys are giving us a hard time. They were like, y'all come out here after lunchtime and smack them like that. What's up with that?
And when the conditions was better. I'm like, well, who wouldn't want to fish in better conditions, Yeah,
but, and Clint had a pretty good theory. He said that, when the conditions are bad, the bigger boats tend to do well, like the ones running off diesel engines, trolling with their diesel engines, and then when the things lay down, the guys with the smaller boats that are using the electric trolling motors tend to do well. There's probably some science behind that, I'm sure.
Well, I think Clint's got that thing on it. I don't know, what do you call that, Pete? When you've got a big motor or an inboard motor or something, it's a trolling thing where you can slow your speed down.
A little trolling plate, right?
Trolling plate.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
we've got a special name to it, but we just call it trolling plate.
Trolling
Happy
plate.
Troller.
Yeah, something like that.
But there again, it was just an amazing day. And after we got our first fish, Mr. Cochran actually said, he said, "I'm good if you want to leave." I said, "Leave? Are you out of your fucking mind?" You're kidding me, right? We're gonna leave.
He was trying to hit
he kept on.
He's trying to
He
get through.
kept on everyone we'd catch. I said, "All right, well, I'm good if you want to leave."
He was trying to get through Charlotte for that damn 5 o'clock traffic's what it was.
But and we actually there again. I think every fish we caught, the last one we were in about 40, 44, 45 foot deep of water, but the 4 fish before that came in 50 to 55 foot deep of water, all 4 of them. And I asked JR, well, no, who was it? I was talking to Perry on the phone. He said, man, he said, I believe I'd make a turn and pull that again. But it was already like 3 o'clock.
That was Todd Asher.
Yeah, and I said, man, we ain't gonna fish for about 20 or 30 more minutes. I said, by the time I got all these eels in and all this bait in and run up, wouldn't have time to pull it again. So we stayed on it, and a few minutes later, another one went off. So it was just that amazing day where you hear people talk about how a bad day really started out and ended up good. They call it grinding. The fishing gods was with us today, because if it hadn't have been rough, we'd have stayed down there at Cape Charles and may or may not have caught fish. But the way things happened, everything just happened good today. So
well, let me ask you this: do you think the success is the fish gods, or do you think success might have been a tide change, the right place, or do you think the success was your phone rang on me on the other end before the bite went off?
It could be a little bit of all of them, Pete.
I recall hanging up with you, and then 5 minutes later, I see a live video, you guys fighting a fish. I'm like, all right, my phone did something to you.
No, honestly, here's what I think. I think, I'll take luck any day in fishing.
That's right.
And at the end of the day, me and JR, I did feel good about where we were fishing. We've seen the birds. No, I don't know what kind of birds they was. I just know they had black wings. They were diving out. And then when I started marking bait, we made a turn. I said, Gerald, let's just put them out right here. We're going to pull south until it ends, and we just got lucky. Like I said, the fishing gods was with us. I believe in God, and I said a prayer. I said, Lord, just let us catch some fish and get back safe. And, and we did. But not most of that was luck. I know how to fish. I know how to pull an eel. I know how to rig rods. We know how to reel them in. We know how to fight them, blah, blah, blah. And then some days you've got 10 boats out there just doing the same thing. Pulling eel, somebody might have their eel 20 foot behind the board. Somebody might have 15. Does that make a difference? Who knows? You'd have to ask the fish. But at the end of the day, we got lucky. We fished hard, we grinded out, and that's what happened.
Look at it this way, Pete. What are the stripers on southeastern reservoirs? What are they doing right now?
Eating, and a lot of eating.
Where would you target them?
Creek mouths and main lake channels.
Okay, so the water temp's dropping. Move up into the creeks, and then as the water temp continues to drop down into the mid 40s, they eventually start to come out of the creeks back out into the main channel, the main river channel, and the main lake. Correct?
Yeah.
And as it continues to get colder, they'll even go deeper. They'll go down to the big pool and be in the deepest of the deep water. So basically, these fish are doing the same thing. These fish are the bait's coming out of the creeks and the rivers. The baits, they're hanging out, the staging up at the mouths. As that water temp continues to drop, that bait goes deeper and deeper and deeper. And the deepest part of that, that Chrsapeake Bay right there, that channel edge, we were in 50 plus feet of water. That bait's continuing to move south, and the deepest of the big pool would be the ocean, and that's where they're going to ultimately wind up. And those fish are just coming in waves all the way from the northern part of the bay to the southern part of the bay. And this time of the year, when that water temp hits that mid 40 mark, you can catch fish in the lower bay, you can catch fish in the middle bay, upper bay. It's just you just basically have to be. You just have to find where the bait's at, and you'll find a school of fish if you troll long enough, cover enough water.
Gotcha.
I noticed yesterday when me and Brian was fishing, I was marking the thermocline anywhere from 32 to 35 feet, give or take, when we were fishing south, and I did not mark the thermocline at all today on the upper end. So I don't know I don't know why. But like I said, man, it was just I don't even know how to describe what the day was. Because when we were sitting at Hardy's, honestly I was thinking, I thought, man, listen, that house is warm. It's cold as shit out here. It's going to be rough. I said, we're going to go up here at mornings and not be able to get out. It's going to be rough up here. And then I'm just thinking this, and I said, to hell with it. I'm up here. I only come once a year. I won't know unless we go up there and try it. So, it was just an amazing day.
It was luck. There was luck involved. But
yeah.
We knew where to go, though. We knew to go to the deeper water. We saw birds working. We saw some birds working, and as soon as we saw those birds working is when we started marking all the bait. So we knew that we were, at that moment in time, we were on some bait, and that's where the fish were.
But JR, yesterday, I was marking a lot of bait. Didn't no birds? I was marking a lot of bait yesterday and never got a pull.
Yeah. And that's in that area. We only saw those birds working as we were pulling up. They disappeared after that.
Yeah.
But they did their jobs. They showed you the bait's wet, right?
Yeah. Well, I told JR, there again, this is the Bay, and I know things are different here, but my thing was when those birds are diving or duck, I think one of the guys we eat with tonight said that was a black-winged duck or something. I don't know. I don't know birds. But those birds were diving. I couldn't tell if they were getting anything or not because they were so far away from us. We were on the outside edge of them. But, I told JR, I said, that bait, if they're diving and bait, because all this bait we've been marking's been deep. If they're diving, something's pushing that bait up for them to be diving on it. I don't know how far down in the water them birds could see, but most of the bait we marked was anywhere from 35 to 40 foot. I mean, some of it was almost on the bottom. So when that bait's that high, that tells me there's something there pushing that bait up. So, that was a good sign too. So,
hey guys,
you what, JR? You broke up. I think we lost JR.
Still hearing a lot of static.
Comments. See if you can hit some of those comments up.
So there's not very many comments at all. I don't see
well,
I see comments, but none that are responsive to.
Yeah.
You don't see Thomas Walker's comment?
Yeah. Thomas said, when I fished up north, the old timers used to say it was the fish feeding on the bottom in areas of bait. So they were foraging is how they got it, how long it stays on them. He has no idea. Talking about the sea lice. And then Gary Morgan.
So Thomas, go ahead. I'm sorry.
And then he says sea lice is from the fish feeding on the bottom. So I don't know. But tomorrow I was actually going home in the morning, and Chuck Timon chartered Clint Lassard's boat. And at the time I thought JR was staying for 2 days, but I didn't know it till right before we got up here. He said he's just gonna have to do a turn and burn. So I called Chuck and asked him would he like to fish with me Wednesday if he didn't have any more obligations. And he said, well, I'm fishing with Clint. He said, I chartered Clint's boat and I'm gonna be on it by myself. Just come out there with us. So, and of course he wouldn't let me give him no money on it. He did let me buy supper, which cost $11, and I don't think he liked that, but, so tomorrow, if I can get my ass up, all I got to do is walk down to the boat and get on it. When we get done, step off of it and get ready to go home. So, and we're going to be on a 42-foot sport fisher tomorrow. So,
is your boat staying down there, or are you towing it back and forth?
What, my boat?
Yeah.
No, I'm going home. Listen, this is the longest I've ever actually been away from Lori, and I'm not going to come back up here. I told her I wanted to come and stay a week or so, and just kind of get it out of my system up here. And the weather's fixing to get brutal up here. It's going to be brutal cold. And I look forward to getting some snow and ice.
You'll never get it out of your system.
Huh?
So it's striper fishing, man. You'll never get it out of your system.
Hey, buddy, I miss Little River. I'm going to be honest with you. I love this. This is kind of like my, like a tradition thing now. But, dude, it was hard living in Wahoo. And
man,
knowing how big they are out there now.
You didn't miss a damn thing, man, because I checked I was supposed to go offshore today, but I canceled. And I looked at my app, and it was blowing 20, 25 all day today. So, yeah, you missed nothing.
Damn. But yeah, like I said, I'm ready to go home. I miss Lori and the dogs, and they're ready for me to come home. But I mean, like I said, I'm good. I don't even have no want to come back up here. I got my feel of it. I'm good. After today, I mean, I could never ask for a better day in fishing than what we had today as far as striper fishing is concerned. It was just amazing.
When Wes told me that he wasn't coming back, I knew then I better at least go up do a turn and burn.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, like I said, it paid off. I'm telling you, buddy, that's the roughest water that I've ever been in was this morning. And when that boat went completely, I've never been on a boat that did that, went completely airborne. I said, man, we're getting the hell out of here. It's time to go.
Yeah. Yep. The captain made the call, and I was right there with him. I said, absolutely. Whatever you want to do.
Hey, I tell you what, JR.
It was a little bit unnerving.
Hey, unnerving. JR had my E-perv strapped to his wrist. I said, buddy, please don't let that thing get wet, whatever you do, because they'll be out here on our ass in like 3 minutes, because where we put in at Cape Charles, that's the Coast Guard's office right there. So they were like 2 miles from us if that E-perv goes off. So
they may not have been as nice this time.
So was it worth the trip, JR, to drive up here and drive home?
Oh my God, dude, it was epic. Yeah, absolutely.
How far have you got?
I'll be home about, my GPS says 12:03 a.m.
Good deal. Yeah, we had a good dinner tonight. I thought it was just going to be, let's see, me and Chuck, Clint, and little Clint, John Mathena, Buddy Van, Bill Lampkin, and that guy's name, Marty, that fishes with John Mathena. I can't think of that other guy's name. He was good friends with Clint. I met him up here last year at the Mexican restaurant. I think there was 9 or 10 of us there eating supper. I thought it was going to be just 4 of us, but it wound up being a big party. So, then that's cool, just hanging around and listening to everybody talk about how their day went and what they did today and what they did the day before yesterday and what they're going to do tomorrow. It's just all about fishing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's cool going up there and rubbing elbows with those guys, for sure.
Yeah.
Being there amongst them. I didn't get to go eat dinner with you, but I got to fish, and I knew that they were out there fishing too. I heard them on the radio a lot.
My baby said, baby, we're good. You do what you want. I want to come home, baby. That's what I want to do.
I read that comment, and I was thinking, no, he's not just saying that. He really wants to come home.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest with you. If I'd have knew what was going to happen today, I wouldn't even accepted Chuck's advice. And, man, I'm going home. But I done told him I'd go, too, because he said that he was, he had the boat by himself. Then, and I don't only get to see Chuck once a year, a couple of times. So, that'll be awesome.
Heck yeah.
Hey, Wes, kind of changing subjects, but I don't think a lot of these other folks got invites at all for the show.
You'd have to talk to JR about that. He said he sent them.
Yeah. I mean, I sent Hovis an invite and Scott Perry an invite. So
well,
just have to get on Messenger and click on it.
Hey, are you on your phone, Pete, or are you on your computer?
I could be. I'm on my computer right now, but I have my phone next to me.
Hey, send Scott Perry a message and ask him, is he coming on?
Oh, I already did.
Oh, okay. What'd he say?
No answer at all.
Oh, okay. He's a puss.
Pretty much.
But, today's the second time. I had it happen to me one time on Russell, and people talk about it happens to them, but I'm actually letting a board out and had a fish hit. And that's why they always say, I always keep a clicker on my reels. When I'm fishing, people say they don't like to hear it when you're reeling it in, turn the clicker off. Well, if you don't want to hear it, don't watch my videos. My clickers stay on, because the time that I forget to turn it back on is when a fish is going to hit and bird nest it. And, so today,
I don't leave my clickers on I don't leave mine on when I'm catfishing or doing like 90% of fishing. I won't leave it on. But
doing what we were doing clicker anyway. You ain't got to worry about
doing what we were doing today. You need to leave the clicker on, because that lets your partner know what's going on.
Yeah.
He knows when drag's being pulled. He knows when you're reeling. He knows, and it kind of helps you both stay on the same page. So I think
Well,
it's
that's like, and especially like on Clint's boat, what you just said, he's up top in that crow's nest or the middle. Somebody commented on one of his videos one time. He said, "Why don't y'all turn them down clickers off?" And Clint said, "It's because I need to know what that fish is doing, and I don't know what he's doing if I can't hear that clicker, if he's running or what he's doing." You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So,
Yeah, that makes sense.
The other day I actually had a fish, a striper, when I was on Lake Watery. Hit, and I can't even talk right now. As I was letting the planter out, he nailed it in my hand too. So it happens, man. I tell you, that's the first time that ever happened to me.
Well, at first, the way the planter board, it just kind of, and the direction it went was the direction that the current, it should have planed out anyway. And it kind of skittered a little bit. And I said, "Damn, that eel's strong." And then, boom, then it just took off. It was almost like it was jumping on the water. I said, "Oh, shit, that's a fish." So I just pushed the lever drag up and tried to jerk his damn tonsils out because I forget I'm fishing with a circle hook. But anyway, we got him, and, that's all that matters.
Yeah, for me,
Thomas Walker said, "LOL, Wes, you got to catch the catfish for them to pull the drag."
Got
it.
That's right. Tell us, Thomas.
So, Pete, what you got going on? So you tried to go out today, but it was too rough?
No. So I initially planned this day to go offshore again. I had a crew ready to go, but I did not like the forecast. So I had a trip here locally. And I was kind of, playing around my app to see if maybe I made a busted call, and sure shit, 2025 all day. So I'm like, yep, glad to go.
Has anybody been going? Is anybody able to get offshore? I mean, on the good day, I know you can go out into Freeman or.
So a couple guys have gone out because they need to due to some Wahoo tournaments. That's going on down there, and they're getting their ass beat. I mean, they're catching fish, but it's not wide open. They're catching 2, 3, or 4 fish. That's it.
And getting the hell beat out of them doing it.
Oh, hell yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and they're again talking about the water. Unless you've got, I've been on one boat that's got a seakeeper on it. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but you could tell the difference on that Onslow Bay we were on down in Venice. Mike told that guy, he said, "Turn that thing off for a minute, just see what happens." Dude, he turned that thing off, and that boat started rising up like 3 or 4 foot and rocking. This was a 32-foot Onslow, just rocking. They said, "Now turn it back on. Watch this, Wes." And he turned it back on, and it just. And I was
what is it, like some kind of big gyro in the hull or something?
Yeah, he had to have a generator on there just to run that.
Wow.
Just for that seakeeper. But there again, unless you've got a $500,000 boat, you're going to go out there. You can go out there in 3 or 4 footers in a lot of boats, but when you get out there, you're just going constantly. You're just steadily fighting.
Yeah.
And then when you're fighting the fish, I mean, it's just. I love the fish, but I'm not going to get the hell beat out of me no more for a fish.
Been there, done that. Don't want to do it no more. Pick my days.
Exactly. When you're 55 years old like me, I have learned to pick and choose my battles.
Yeah.
My baby.
Those reels felt great, man. That Siegler felt great. I was very impressed with that reel. That reel felt really, really good.
Lifetime warranty, made in the USA. The only thing that I didn't like about it, and I'm gonna see if I can I'm gonna change it if I can. I don't like the knob. I don't like a hard metal knob. I'd rather it be, like a soft rubber or hard rubber or EVA foam, either one. I just don't really care for the metal part on it. But other than that, it's a great reel. It's kind of like, it reminds me of
plastic dip it.
It reminds me of the Shimano. What is that Shimano reel everybody likes? It's a lever drag.
Speedmaster?
Jigmaster?
No. The ones a lot of the cat fishermen use them. Thomas.
Dakota.
Dakotas. It's just a tank. It's not the smoothest reel in the world, but it's solid. I mean, and you can catch big fish on it. And if
I like its power. It had really good power.
Yeah, and if you tear it up, anything happens to it for the life of the reel, send it in. They either fix it or send you another reel. So for $275 for that reel, you can't beat that. I mean,
no. No,
Someone
that's
was
cheaper than
asking
an
you
Avid.
how fast were y'all trolling today? What speed?
It depended. We had the wind at our back. And we're just using the trolling motor pretty much. I had it on north up, the autopilot, which works great in the bay for some reason. I guess because it's so wide open and you're not around a bunch of trees messing with the signal. But what would you say, Joe? I think the fastest we got was like maybe 2.5 at times, but our average speed was around 2.5. Our average speed was about a little over 2 miles an hour.
Yeah, we had an incoming tide too, didn't we?
Had an incoming tide and a north wind blowing south. So
yeah, so that tide could have been slowing us down some.
Yeah, it was definitely helping. And and like Chuck said too, it's the people up here with a trolling motor has really got a big advantage as far as speed goes. But I'm like Tommy, Chuck says he believes that his diesel engine draws fish to that boat or makes them want to come in and maybe get closer to his boards and its bait. And I remember as a kid, my daddy always used to say, when we're fishing, you can't talk. You got to be real quiet. You'll scare the fish away. Motherfucker used to have me walking around on my tiptoes and shit, tapping him on the shoulder, speaking in my lips because I wanted to catch a fish, and I thought I wouldn't catch one if I was talking. And yes, y'all know now I like to talk, so maybe that's why I like to talk so much now because I couldn't talk when I was a kid if I was fishing.
I think that sometimes being stealthy
curious. I think fish are
very
curious.
beneficial.
But fish are curious, Who would ever thought, I went out with Daniel Skipper last year. We took both my grandson and my granddaughter. And he's got a trolling motor, a little small shaft trolling motor with these two little round circle things on it, screwed into props. And he just puts it on top of the water, puts it on low, and just lets it splash. Who would ever thought that making that kind of racket would draw fish to you? Because for years, or me growing up, was the quieter you were, the better chance you had of catching a fish. And now people's putting bumpers on the thing that just totally knocks.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's true. I think that being stealthy works a lot of times if the fish are shallow. I think it's when you're making that noise, it's always when the fish are deep.
That's right. I agree. So the last several trips, or what I do on Lake Norman, for example, is when I'm trying to target these perch on the bottom in deep water, I'll actually go to a spot where there's some kind of nearby, and I'll spot lock, and I'll keep my boat in the idle, and just the noise of my engine in the idle draws them in.
Yeah, I believe that.
The other thing I do is to make a little more noise, I'll actually turn on my live well pumps and allow that to make noise because what you hear in the boat is probably amplified 10 times over the water, the live well pump running. So that also works.
Absolutely.
Oh, guys, I didn't mean to tell you, I forgot about Hovis. I called Hovis right before the show, and he said that they finally got him a room, and they was going to be transporting him. So that might be why he's not on here, but he said if he could, he'd get on while they was transporting him in the ambulance if he could get a signal in that box. So.
Yeah, I doubt they're going to let him do that, but nice try, Hovis.
And Scott probably hadn't got into McKenna Creek yet. Let's see. I don't guess he's backstage. He hadn't texted me and told me. Let's see. Guest. No, I don't see him.
I messaged him and I see that he looked at it. So
he'll probably come in here in a minute. I can't believe he hasn't commented.
Yeah.
He might not even be watching. Right? So, Pete, you do a lot of freshwater and saltwater.
Yeah, I guess.
If you had to choose, do you like the salt better or the fresh better?
Oh, saltwater all day, man. All day.
Oh. Boy,
I wouldn't have known that.
Damn, you're enjoying that dang cigarette. Holy shit. God alive.
Hey, did y'all see the weather forecast? I was looking on the Channel 4 app, and hell, we're supposed to get some single-digit weather for this weekend and the first of the week next week in Greenville.
Christmas Day.
It was snowing and sleeting down there in Greenville today, and in Liberty, South Carolina, they said they got some snow and sleet today.
I wish that dang striped bass challenge was next week. Just saying.
Boy, by the time
you like fishing in adverse conditions.
Oh yeah. As long as the wind's not blowing 20 knots or greater.
Well, you got 35, 36, 38-degree weather up here and the wind blowing 15 miles an hour. So I don't know what that wind chill would be, but it's brutal.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yesterday, when that guy was with me, the wind was blowing so hard and it was about 35 degrees. I could get one or two eels out and I'd have to go turn the heat on and put my hands in front of them just to fill them. And then go
Really?
back and bait two more and then get back in front of the heater so my damn fingers didn't fall off.
That's funny.
JR,
Yeah.
you supposed to keep the show going. Give us some info. Tell us about them microorganisms that live in the creeks up here.
I love it.
Let's see. What was it you
What do
said
y'all call
today?
The microorganisms.
Oh, I know what it is.
Sea lice. Sea lice, right? There you go.
Yeah, those microorgasmic sea lice.
Well, it was funny today when we come out of the water. I told Wes, I said, "Dang," I said, your outboard's cavitated." And about 10 minutes later, he got on the phone with somebody. He was like, "Yeah, man, my outboards were captivating."
Hell, they knew what I was talking about.
They were captivatingly whatever. I can't even remember my own word now.
Hey, I got
Cavitated.
lucky
They were
I didn't spin a prop.
captivatingly cavitated.
Pete, I
Do
really
what?
thought we spun the props.
Oh, really?
Dude, that boat come completely airborne out of the water. Nothing under it but fucking air.
Uh-huh.
So, you know.
Boy, hammer down, boy. Hammer down.
JR said, Dale, he said, you reckon, he said, he said, you reckon it'd help if we put the trim tabs down? I said, fuck no. Well, that'd make us, hell, we'd nosedive if we put the trim tabs down.
Yeah, I meant, you know what I meant.
Well, you knew what I meant when I said captivating too.
Yeah.
Hey, and I looked at JR, I said, you know what this is, right? You know, the E-perb? And he looked at it, and he pulled that string, he's going to put it around his neck. Then he said, no, fuck that, I'm putting it on my head. He strapped it to his hand, right around in the bay. And JR's got my E-perb strapped to his hand. I said, man, please don't let that son of a bitch get completely wet because they'll be all over our ass in 5 minutes out here.
So Wes will be on one strike.
I'd never live that down, and they'd be calling Lori again. We got a signal from your husband's boat, but we're heading sending somebody out right now. Dude, she'd kill me when I got home if that happened again and I didn't die.
I can't believe Scott didn't come on.
Huh?
Can't believe Scott didn't come on.
You know Scott's a puss. Scott's got to get liquored up before he gets on here.
God, hey, speaking of Scott, did you see where dang Brian Barber flat out called him an asshole pretty much? I found that funny as hell.
Called who an asshole, Scott?
Yeah, he called us during that little post last night, this morning, whatever, and he said something. Basically, what it comes down to is, hey, Scott, you're an asshole. I'm not. I'm like, damn, an asshole calling someone else an asshole? My God.
Who said that?
Hey, Scott and Brian
Bear.
This thing goes goes back with Brian Bear for years, dude. Brian Bear, they hated that motherfucker when I first started striper fishing. I mean, Brian Bear is a totally different human being. I don't know how he's wired, but his wires, he's got like 3,000 snakes in his fucking head, and they don't know which way they want to go. It's like having a box of eels in a bait tank, and they're just everywhere, and you don't know which one you're going to pick out, so you don't know what he's going to say from any given time. I mean, he's a strange cat.
Wes showed me a different way to hold a fish today. This the picture that I put on this StreamYard where he's got it sit in his lap. That's an excellent way to hold a fish. He spread his legs and he allowed the belly to fall in between his legs. That was smart. When I caught the next fish, he was like, "Put it in your lap, spread your legs." And I spread my legs. He's like, "Spread your legs." I said, "Wes, they are spread." He's like, "Spread them more." I'm like, "I can't. They're spread as far as they'll go."
You know, so you can let the belly hang down. Because, you know, a lot of people take a picture with a fish and, you know, you can't see the size of it. Just like Richie's fish, the first fish we caught up here, that fish could have passed for a 50-pound fish easy. But it only weighed 44 pounds. And then you'll see some fish and you take pictures of them and you're seeing that fish in person. And then you look at the pictures later and you're like, that picture did not do that fish no justice at all.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. Even the videos really don't.
But I figured out.
Imagine how Peter feels.
And, you know, I noticed a lot of people there again, and I got this from cat fishermen, you know, and actually I seen some of the women doing it. So, you know, you call me what you want to, but, you know, I notice how they'll let a lot of women, when they got a big fish, they sit down, you know, and just hold the fish like this. I can't hold those big fish up and hold them out like this and make their belly push out. I said, shit, I'll just sit down and do it. And I think it still takes a good picture. That's just like that wahoo.
Yeah.
I can't hold up no 50, 60-pound fish like that. I mean, hell, I smoke, brother. I'm 55 years old. I'd die trying to hold that fish up long enough to get a good picture.
We can tell in your live videos we hear.
Hey, listen, anybody.
Yeah, he doesn't try to hide it, does he?
You don't, no, not at all.
Hey, man, hey, that's work out there. Two big fish on like that.
I know it.
And then JR like to broke his neck. I'm trying to I said, JR, raise your foot up. I need to get the net out from under your foot. Shit, he won't move his foot because he's trying to get that GoPro in his mouth. I said, dude, you're going to break your neck, JR. Bam, there he goes.
Hey, why is there no video of that?
Hey, here's you some adverse conditions, Pete. Friday at 10 a.m. on Hartwell, 14 degrees, 21 mile an hour sustained, 36 mile an hour gust.
Yeah, those conditions right there, I would rather be at work.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really rough.
So, Pete, when you coming up here with us?
I like, so as far as adverse conditions, man, I like highs in the low 40s. You know, that's kind of shit I like there.
You don't like 20-degree weather?
I mean, I do the mornings, yeah, but like during the day, fuck no. When that sun comes up, it better be above freezing.
Why?
Because I don't feel like
you don't have a pilot house.
Yeah, I don't live in Alaska. That's right. I don't got a heater on my boat. I ain't got no buddy heater.
Hey, Pete, have you ever thought about getting you some, like maybe some isinglass or a wrap made for your tower?
For the tower, for the T-top?
Yeah, for your big boat.
You know, I don't fish enough on that thing to make it worthwhile, honestly.
Hey, one trip offshore down there, one trip offshore in the wintertime would make it worth it.
Correct, yeah. Oh, hell, Scott's on.
Hold on, let me get him here. Let's see here. Hold on. Guest. I don't see him.
I see a comment here. He's talking shit, you know, the usual. Damn,
I was sitting with my camera on 8 till 9 talking to myself. Well, Scott, you got an invite. Click on the invite and I'll put you in here. Let's see, guest. I don't see him. That McKenna Creek's got on his ass. Probably he can't figure it out.
Come on, Scott. Tell us about the fish bowl. I mean, the toilet bowl.
Scott Perry, the only reason Scott don't want to come up here because he knows he would like it. But listen, I'm going to be honest with y'all. Scott did come with us. He just would not let me do any videos. Did you see the picture today? I took a picture of you standing on the back of the boat. Did you see that?
I saw that, yeah.
Yeah, he's in there. He's in there now. Scott, get on the show.
Shit with some damn top-notch fucking Under Armour fucking windbreaker in the damn cold-ass conditions.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Damn. He ain't gonna come on. He's scared. He'd already been on.
But hey, we're just talking about you and the bear, man. Come on, you missed out on that. You need to explain yourself now.
Brian Bear is the only person that can get under Scott's skin. He knows Brian can flame Scott. If anybody can flame Scott Perry, Brian Bear does. And Brian Bear does it out of pure stupidity and don't even realize what he's doing.
I want to hear the Brian Bear story from Scott.
Why do we even bring this guy up? I don't even want to talk about this guy.
Pete brought it up. So what happened anyway? Since you did bring it up, tell us the story, Pete, on the post.
I don't know the story. So no, on his little Facebook post, he said something. It was basically flat out. Basically, in translation, it says, "Scott, you're an asshole."
What was the post about?
Go back and basically telling Scott made a post saying that if you want to be a striper fisherman, put the damn work in and stop mooching.
Oh yeah, that same. Well, see, Brian's got me blocked, so I can't see what he
You commented on that post, so you should know it.
Yeah, no, he's got us blocked.
He's got us blocked. I can't see nothing he does.
Oh, I got you. Oh, okay.
So we missed 3 fish today, Peter, and we missed all 3 fish on one rod on the boat.
No, we didn't.
One rod happened to be the stiffest rod on the boat. It was a Shimano Torres jigging rod. Will you please tell Wes that you're not supposed to use a Shimano Torres jigging rod for circle hooks?
Well, were you trying to set the hook on them damn things?
No, well, never mind. You don't even use circle. You're a freaking soft plastic fisherman. You probably don't even know anything about circle hooks.
Yep.
JR, you're wrong, but I'll say you're right. Because I don't feel like trying to explain to you again about a circle hook. That's a cat fisherman thing, but the action of that rod's got nothing to do with the way that hook turns and hook sets in that fish's mouth. It don't matter if you're fishing with a damn broomstick.
Wes, the fish has to swallow the bait for a circle hook to work.
If
it doesn't get a chance to swallow. Because the rod's not bending, allowing the fish to swallow the bait. It's yanking the bait out of the fish's mouth. Circle hook can't do it.
That's a damn 60-pounder, Wes. God, man.
Damn.
55 all day.
Hey. You'll never make him see it no different. But, he was precision casting today in the Chrsapeake Bay with an Ambassador 6500 too. Listen, this motherfucker had a coin weight, a Zara spook with a fucking eel on the end of it.
Hey, I was trying to catch a fish on a Hellcat, damn it.
Damn.
Couldn't fish it properly, so threw one on there. Heck, why not?
But we had a blast today, man. That's like I said, the 3.5 hours today made for this whole trip. Richie got his personal best. JR tied his. What did you get last year, JR? 49?
49, yeah.
Yeah. Well, you almost tied.
I think you need to get a digital scale.
Dude, those bogas I weigh those fish on is a $265 certified IGFA scale, buddy. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with those.
No. They're an expensive fish holder that happens to have a scale made onto them. It's a spring-loaded scale.
Not at all.
Spring-loaded scale. Those springs get corrosion on them.
Not at all.
They're basically a set of D-liers.
JR, those springs are stainless, brother. They do not corrode.
So what he's trying to say is that fish is 49 pounds, 15 ounces, just shy of 80.
Yeah.
I'm trying to say it would have weighed 50 plus on a set of digital scale.
No.
Those are fine to hold a fish. I just don't think you should trust them to weigh a fish.
Dude, it's one of the best scales money can buy.
I mean, nobody can say that you're inflating weights. That's for sure.
Exactly. Show me a set of scales. Show me a set of digital scales that cost $260.
I mean, it's awfully funny how you've had like a dozen trophy stripers that never bust 49 pounds. Like they're all like 49 pounds. I'm like, are you serious? Not one of those fish are over 49 pounds.
It is what it is. I learned a long time ago. Call a fish to weight, man. And there again, what does a pound matter? Okay, it might have been. It's still a big fish.
Well, I agree.
They're big fish.
I agree with that 100%. I just think that the bogas are an expensive set of D-liers. I think.
Well, of course you do. Because you don't have.
I think a digital scale. I think it would have busted 50 mark.
And a digital scale, there again, how long are you going to have them before the calibration's fucked up on them, and you don't know how if they're really accurate or not, because they have to. Did anything digital like that's calibrated? How long?
It's easy. It's easy. You weigh the fish in the net every time. You take the handle off the net. You tear the net out, and every single time you tear the net out, you can tell if it's off calibration or not, because the net will weigh the same. Should weigh the same every time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I'll stick. You get you a digital scale, and I'll stick to my bogus.
I got one.
Yeah. All right, guys. I'm gonna head on off. The dog is dang wanting to get out here real quick. I'm gonna lay on down. I get up early, go to work.
All right, buddy.
Let me see him. Hold on a minute. Let me see him. Where's he at?
Hey, come here, asshole. All right, he's popped down now. There you go.
Oh, Lori's
give out.
Lori's at home right now, piled up with her baby. Hey, Pete, she bought that dog a $400 dog bed.
Damn, is that dog gonna tear it up?
No, I don't. He ain't tore up nothing. He tears up those chew toys, everything but that rope. When I bought him, man, it's knock on wood. He has been great. He's already housed. He's potty trained now. He goes outside. His house broke, and so far he has not torn nothing up. No shoes, no furniture. He don't claw. He don't sit around and chew. Nice. All the lazy bastard does is sit around and eat and chews on that rope.
He's been the same exact way. He has not touched anything that's not a toy, and I've actually tried several different doggy beds, and the fucker prefers a damn blanket over a bed. So, whatever. On my boat, he used to love to chew on a rope. So I had an issue with him chewing through my dang dock line every damn time. So I started catching a little fake rope on the side, and he started playing with that. Now all of a sudden he's lost interest in ropes. So it works out fine. But other than that, he doesn't chew anything outside the ordinary at all. Never has.
Now, Popper, when we first got him, of course he won't. They like stuff with your smell on it. So Lori gave him a couple of old pair of shoes and stuff, and the trainer said no. He said take that away from him now. Go get him a chew toy. Don't let him, because he said what's going to happen. You're going to come home one day, and he noticed that whole pair of Nikes there. He said that $200 pair of shoes you got there is going to be tore all to hell. And he don't know better. He don't know the difference that between an old shoe and a new shoe. He just knows the smells on it.
Yep.
So we stopped that immediately. And when I went and bought him a rope, one of these big, like heavy duty ropes, and that's his favorite toy. He loves it. So like I said, so far he's just been a great dog, man. And my grandkids had a blast with him this weekend. I don't know if you've seen some of the pictures I put on Facebook, but they love that dog.
Yeah, I have.
So, all right, buddy, we'll go get you some sleep.
I'm actually shut off here real quick now that I think of it. So, are you guys doing the Striped Bass Challenge? Yes, no? Don't know yet?
I'm not.
You're not? Oh, come on.
No. Hey, when I get home this time, my boat's going to go under the shed, and it will not move till it goes back to Cricket Cove Marina.
I have bought a prize between us right here. The winner takes all.
What is that?
It's a bottle of a whiskey.
What's the name of it?
Timka, my favorite.
Timka.
What kind of whiskey is it?
That's bougie.
It's actually made in Colorado.
That's bougie McKenna Creek.
There you go. It's pretty good. I like it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right. Well, that'll probably be enough to make Scott fish it.
I guess so. You know what? I might even need to start drinking it now to stay warm. I don't know.
I want to say I'm going to fish it. I'm kind of on the fence because it depends. If it's going to be like 40-mile-an-hour winds, then I probably won't. But if it's just going to be cold and not windy, then I probably will. How
you gonna know, JR? How you gonna know what it's going to be the day?
You got to pay up by the 31st. I think.
You got to pay up by the 31st.
I know. Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to lean toward yes. I am going to fish it.
I'm leaning toward.
But I'm not 100% yet.
I might come to the weigh-in, but I'm not going to fish it.
Gotcha.
When I get home, my boat's
I'm at least good at that.
Hey, Pete, how long's the wahoo bite down there?
Normally about early January is when it starts slowing down big time, but every year is different, man. I don't know. you get bigger fish January and February, but you're basically that time of year you might be fishing for 2 bites. That's it.
Yeah, my boat's probably gonna be parked till about April or May till it goes back to Little River. Hey man, I fished my ass off this year. Like I told Lori, I'm ready for a break. I'm gonna start trying to spend some more time with her and the babies, and I got a lot of work to do and just chill out.
There you
I
go.
was telling myself I was ready for a break until I started booking all these dang charters and local lakes out here, but
Yeah, you've been on fire, Peter. You've been burning it at both ends, brother.
staying busy, man. Staying busy.
Yeah.
I don't like sitting. I'm a kind of person. I don't like sitting around doing nothing.
Yeah, that's obvious. Yeah.
All right, guys. JR, I'm glad you was able to stay the whole show. You only went out like 1 or 2 times right there, but
We got no blue lights behind you too. It's always success.
hey, you know what? My lights, the damn battery. I meant the my truck, the fuse in the battery. I meant the fuse in the truck was doing it.
That's all. That was it. Yep.
Yep. So I'm good.
Gotcha.
All right, guys.
Ooh, all right.
It's been a great one.
Good night, guys.
Pete, be safe on your next flight, buddy, and I'll probably talk to you before next Tuesday.
Take care. All right, buddy. Take care.
Y'all have a good night. JR, be safe going home, brother.
I will, buddy. Appreciate it, Wes.
All right,
See you
buddy.
guys.
Bye-bye.
Take
Bye-bye.
care.